Transfer verdict on Alexander Isak has been delivered after a £150 million deadlock with an agreement reached with Liverpool. Barcelona is now negotiating to sign the sensational Liverpool star, who would reportedly be open to the move. Attention, Liverpool has reached an agreement to sign the 18-year-old Serie A prodigy. Welcome, Reds fans. Check out the latest updates from the world's biggest club. Alexander Isak continues to be strongly linked with a move to Liverpool, with less than 3 weeks remaining before the summer transfer window closes. After a £110 million offer was rejected earlier this month, there are no signs that the transfer saga is slowing down, especially with the Premier League season approaching. Liverpool has already been active in the transfer market this summer, making 7 signings, and the central question now is whether Isak will become Arne Slot's next reinforcement. The Echo recently reported that, for now, the Reds have no plans to make a second offer for the Swedish striker. Newcastle United, on the other hand, has maintained a firm stance, making it clear that Isak is not for sale this summer. Rumors suggest the club values the player at around £150 million, reflecting both his talent and importance to the team. One of Newcastle's main challenges has been finding a suitable replacement for Isak. The market for top-level forwards is scarce this summer, and although Liverpool has strengthened their attack with Hugo Ekitike, Isak remains the dream signing due to his skill, versatility, and immediate impact potential. Understandably, Newcastle has been carefully evaluating its options after failing to secure Benjamin Sesko, who would have been the ideal successor, but chose to move to Manchester United. The club now faces a delicate situation. They must assess whether any available forwards, such as Nicholas Jackson, Jorgen Strand Larsen, or Rodrigo Muniz, could provide a viable alternative. None of these players match Isak technically, but a fully committed player like Jackson, eager to prove his worth, could ultimately be more advantageous than retaining Isak, whose focus appears increasingly on Liverpool. The relationship between Isak and Newcastle remains tense. If the situation remains unresolved, the club will eventually have to yield. One theory suggests Newcastle is merely delaying the inevitable, possibly to prevent Isak from playing against them at St. James's Park on Monday, August 25th, while hoping to finalize a deal afterward. For Liverpool, the remaining window offers some flexibility. The team can rely on its current attacking options for the opening matches against Bournemouth and Newcastle, ensuring competitiveness, and then finalize Isak's transfer in time to prepare him for the visit of Arsenal later in the month. Isak's arrival could strengthen Liverpool's attack, adding creativity, depth, and tactical options for Arne Slot. With the transfer window closing soon, this deal promises to be one of the summer's biggest stories, carrying major implications for both Newcastle and Liverpool in the 2025-26 season.
Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate has also been the subject of speculation this summer, primarily because his contract expires next year. According to Sempre Barça, Barcelona has held preliminary talks with Konate's team and found that the French defender would not oppose joining the La Liga giant. However, Konate's current priority is to stay at Anfield, evaluating his role and whether Liverpool will offer a new contract to keep him at the club. Liverpool faces a crucial decision. If they fail to renew Konate's contract, they risk losing him on a free transfer, similar to the situation with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who recently moved to Real Madrid. To avoid this, the Merseyside club could demand around £44 million if they choose to sell him this summer. However, Barcelona would only be willing to pay this amount if contract negotiations with Konate break down completely. Meanwhile, Deco remains in contact with Konate's team, reinforcing Barcelona's interest in the defender. Losing Konate would be a major blow for Liverpool. The club currently only has Virgil van Dijk and Konate as fully available senior center backs, while Joe Gomez has been struggling with injuries. Additionally, young defender Gerald Kwanzaa was sold to Bayer Leverkusen earlier in the window, increasing the need for central defensive reinforcements. Liverpool has already made 7 new signings this summer and is about to announce an 8th, 18-year-old center-back Giovanni Leoni. Leoni will join the first team, completing the central defense group alongside Van Dijk, Konate, and Gomez, with no plans for a loan. This move strengthens Liverpool's defensive line, while the club continues to monitor Konate's future. Beyond Barcelona, other top European clubs have shown interest in Konate. Spanish outlet AS reports that Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain are monitoring the Frenchman to potentially sign him on a free transfer next summer when his contract expires. Marca reports that Liverpool is determined to reach a new deal with Konate to prevent losing him without financial compensation. Konate's future remains uncertain, and all eyes are on Anfield as Liverpool navigates the transfer window, aiming to maintain a strong and competitive defense for the 2025-26 season.
Liverpool has confirmed an agreement to sign Parma's young defensive prospect Giovanni Leoni for approximately €35 million. According to Fabrizio Romano, Leoni is set to travel to Merseyside in the coming hours to undergo medical tests, with all documents already approved and the club giving the green light for his arrival. Meanwhile, Marc Guéhi is also a target for Liverpool. The Crystal Palace captain has reportedly informed the club that he wishes to move to Anfield this summer, and negotiations between the two clubs are ongoing. Although Arne Slot has remained cautious during a press conference, noting that he is not our player, behind the scenes, Liverpool is working to secure what would be their 10th signing of the season. Progress in negotiations with Guéhi has not been as swift as with Leoni, who will be integrated into the team immediately after his medicals, but both parties remain confident in a positive outcome. Lewis Steele of the Mail reports that Liverpool's initial offer, £30 million plus £5 million in add-ons, still falls short of Palace's valuation. For now, Guéhi is likely to remain at Selhurst Park, although Palace chairman Steve Parish has admitted that a sale is necessary to avoid losing the player on a free transfer next summer. Paul Joyce of The Times adds that Crystal Palace is aware of Guéhi's interest in joining the Premier League champions. Technically, Liverpool could wait until next year to sign the defender without paying a transfer fee, but the need to strengthen the defense with an experienced player and Palace's urgency to generate funds make that option unlikely. Palace is reportedly asking for around £40 million, a figure inflated due to the sell-on clause still benefiting Guéhi's former club, Chelsea. Negotiations may be extended due to payment structure and the inclusion of performance-based add-ons, but the trend suggests Liverpool and Crystal Palace will likely meet halfway. Additionally, Palace is monitoring other Liverpool targets, such as midfielder Harvey Elliott, valued at £50 million, and Eberechi Eze, who could also leave the club before the transfer window closes, with the team having spent only £2 million so far on goalkeeper Walter Benitez and left-back Borna Sosa. The situation indicates that, with the player himself interested, a deal between Liverpool and Palace is increasingly likely before the end of the summer transfer window. Thank you very much for watching this far. See you next time.